Hi, loves. Welcome back to Vanity Fair. My name is Chris Farah, and today we are talking about the standby of standbys. It's 90 Day Fiancé. Before the 90 days, season 8, episode 13, honey. Losing altitude. Not a good sign. Next one's going to be like, please secure your masks before helping others with their masks. And you're just like, oh, couldn't this have been a good flight? How about like, guess what? Free first class for everyone would have been like a lovely first title, but that's not life, I guess. Turns out, how are you all? Yay, the Oscars happened. I can't quite tell you what happened because I'm recording it before it happens. So there, it happened, and the people that won. And that crazy thing that happened, wow. Whatever it was, I either feel happy or bad about it. You fill it in. I just spit so much just now for I would say a comedic purpose, but I mean even then not really. Okay, let's get in. I'm excited to talk about this. First of all, please give me 5 stars if you haven't yet. Like a helpful review, share this podcast if you know someone watches 90 Day Fiancé or any of the other shows I watch and talk about. Babes, Love is Blind happened, Traders happened. Things are on my YouTube as well, so make sure you go if you want some visuals. You can pay $5 on my Patreon, get things real fast. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is coming up. Also, you guys are going to do they're going to do a docu-series or a documentary, I'm not quite sure how many parts, God bless, on The Swan. The Swan. That show that Becky and I talked about. I mean, I can't believe it. We almost manifested this. They're doing a documentary on The Swan, which is probably the most toxic reality show of all time. I can't even imagine the people that we're going to hear that went through those transformations that we just watched and how their lives changed afterwards. Mostly because so many of the surgeries I assumed happened for the sake of speed, that I just don't know if the due diligence were there to make sure it was all good and healthy. Oh my God, though. So, at the same time, obviously, aesthetically, a huge part of media as well as a reality show that happened early on. So, unfortunately, up my alley and pop culture. So, if you're into that, that's what's happening. At the same time, babes, I'm going to start with Anna. I'm going to start with Annie and Javon. So, I'm excited to talk about them because you know what? Here's the thing. Anna, I don't know why I keep calling her, I go back and forth between Anna and Annie Lynn because she goes Anna Lynn sometimes, and I feel like there's an E, but it's really Anna. So Anna Lynn, Anna and Javon, obviously. Anna is really a lovely, funny person. You know, when she's not being weighed down by the personality of like a wet blanket. It's interesting. He's not a funny one. He's not a quick one. He's barely charming. I wonder what it is other than the fact that he is marginally attractive and tall. And, I think that he does maybe just like smile at her and she's like, that's enough. But sometimes she knows it's not enough. And I think that's when she like speaks up. And when she speaks up, it comes out like angry, upset, combative. And it's because I think her soul wants more. But, that's just me. She wished me happy birthday in my DM. So, I mean, thank you so much. She really is a nice lady. And so I hope that she's not mad at anything I say. I hope no, I get obviously anxiety when I hear that anyone listens or watches me because I'm like, oh my God, don't be mad. But anyway, she's a lovely person. Obviously, her mom is spectacular. And this episode also shows us like how spectacular her mom is. Her mom is just amazing. And I will say that she says that she also knows how great her mom is. I DM'd her and I said, I love your mom. She's too pure for this world. She said she's the best, too sweet and too good. I feel like I always had to protect her. Now, it's funny because she sent me that DM before I watched this episode. And then when I watched this episode, I was like, oh, you probably did have to like, unfortunately, protect your mom and see things since she shared what she did that I just wish that no one did. I don't want to, God bless. So, okay. So, my loves, we pick up, honey, with them after that Pink Pony Pedicure Club fight. It was a Pink Pony Pedicure Club fight. It would have been great. Should have just been a scrub, a little massage. It should have been so lovely for both of them. It should have been healing for him in so many ways. To think that he came to the Philippines with them smelly ass feet. And then he's like, I'm going to do her a favor. I'm going to be nice to her. I'm going to be romantic for her and just take them both to a pedicure, which is what you should be doing anyway. Seems like that's hygiene. That's not romance. I want to give grace where grace is. It's just that that's hygiene. And you've already established that like you need that. Remember how in I don't know, my youth or in the 90s, there'd be this thing where like husbands would give wives like vacuum cleaners, things like that for like their birthdays. And it would be like, fuck you. It's obviously better than a vacuum cleaner, but it's kind of the same thing. It's like, well, buddy, you needed a pedicure. And we already, like, she gets pedicures. That's her upkeep. She knows that that's like what humans do. Like, they take care of themselves, their bodies, and, whatnot. I'm not saying every person needs to get a pedicure, but I'm saying is every person has to pedicure their feet. So if they're not doing it, someone has to. So you don't have to pay someone, but if he's not doing it, then it should get done. And the fact that it's getting done is not romantic. At this point, it's fixing a wrong. It's a necessity. It is like, because she's getting massages anyway once a week. So, it isn't like, oh, how romantic for you to get me a pedicure. We're, not every person, but a lot of females who get beauty treatments, they get pedicures. It's not one of the like hard to get ones. Pedicures and manicures are a little like the easiest things to get. You go up from there. It goes pedicures, manicures. Massages can be obviously expensive. They can also be cheap, depends on where. So a facial, like a high-end massage, like maybe, but so she is upset, and we get this producer moment because I can't imagine it's really going to happen where she's like going to maybe like leave him in the middle of this Pink Pony Club pedicure place, but where he's not really going to be left there. She's not that kind of person. She's waited like this whole time for him to come. For some reason, our lovely Filipino ladies have just been waiting, wishing and hoping and praying for these like tall yet daft Americans, Forrest and Javon, to like get their asses to the Philippines. And they never show up correct. They never come correct. Doesn't feel like either of these men like understand the assignment, if I'm just going to like dive deep into the millennial lingo. So then it's like this thing where she's like, I'm going to get a taxi. And we're like, okay. And she's like, just kidding. I'm going to make the taxi go back and pick up my husband. I'm not that mean. We're like, we know. Anyway, so then she does, and they go home, and then, mom's there. Mom has to open the door, and she has to hear, Annie come in upset, and it makes her upset. She's like, not my Anna. And she's like, how's mama's baby? Listen, this is why I love her mom. Her mom shows love by like touch and affection. She's like very obviously affectionate and warm. And she's just very loving. Ugh. The broken promises, this scene, there's like this silent knowing pain that her mom sometimes feels like I read, which is, I don't know if you guys think I'm crazy. Just tell me if you think this too. Sometimes with her mom and her, she's just like, baby, I know men aren't shit. Baby, I know. Listen, if this one makes you happy, just grin and bear and tolerate whatever you got to do, because you're so fabulous. I think that you think that there's going to be someone to like be cute or be funny or be nice or be sweet or have fun with. And he's just not that. I mean, he's not that. And he's sinking deeper and deeper into myself. If you listen to just Stevie Wonder songs, maybe your baby. He just seems to be wanting to find the negative in the relationship to, like, either be like, "This is why I haven't come already," or, "This is why the podcasts about the manosphere is right. This is why it's hard for me to find love because women are angry and women don't wanna assert power or give power," or whatever it is. And I think that, yeah, it's hard for men to understand that, like, not coming for that many years and just showing up and being like, "You should just be happy I'm here. It was hard, and you make it hard," is like a really shitty attitude for someone you're supposed to, like, be in love with and wanna be with. And yeah, I think that there's a part of him that maybe has been told over and over again, "Buddy, your attitude is shitty." Like, you're never happy, you're never excited. It's just so ho-hum. Everything is so, like, it's like Eeyore, but on top of Eeyore, like an angry Eeyore is what his energy is. And I mean, I said the following things, like, he is attractive physically. He has, again, a bad personality, which makes that hard to deal with. He's not like, a charming or cool person, and I've never heard him say anything, like, nerdy or funny or about her that's, like, really specific or nuanced or true. I'm happy that he treated her mom well. So after this conversation with her mom, God bless her mom is like, you gotta just figure out what you want. If you want him, you gotta just get your hopes a little dashed, honey. Bring those expectations down. And she's like, "Yeah, I mean, I do wanna be married." And she's like, "Well, then, yeah, you gotta take down your pride," which is hard to say. And pride is one thing, and then there's another thing where I'm sure, like, Anna's just like, "I also just want him to be happy in public." I wanna have a good time. Sometimes I want to, I'm so sorry, just experience joy with someone. It's hard to be like, you guys have never spent time together and now you're in the same space, and I don't feel like you guys, I don't know, I don't feel that kind of forever kindred spirit. Our souls are aligned. It's just that you're really beautiful and he's so sad and depressed. And I think it's really easy to have, like, a lovely, beautiful wife and then be able to, like, say that you have that, when you can't make things work in America. I just don't know. I wish I could say that I feel really great about them, but, I feel like me and her mom doesn't. I said your mom. Yeah, okay, let me say this. So, like, I wonder how this shakes out. So basically, they have a conversation where she apologizes, and then he's like, "Okay, I won't be sarcastic or arrogant anymore." And we're like, "Oh, okay. Are you gonna stop listening to those podcasts? Are you gonna be like, you know what? Let me take accountability for having married someone and then just pretending that, I never did. And then I never really tried to make you feel like safe or secure in this relationship being abroad. I emotionally cheated on you with someone that I had feelings for and then use that against you to make you feel like you deserved it. I'm sorry about that. That's not something a husband would do. I mean, those Manosphere podcasts would have a field day with that too. But I mean, it's like, but he doesn't think that. In fact, that he likes it still because he brought up the, like, you can't get too comfortable. And the weird thing is that I feel like he is too comfortable with her. And I feel like he chose a woman that he doesn't have to deal with on a day-to-day, land-to-land basis because it would be uncomfortable for him. Yeah, this kind of like incel behavior, like really scared of like the day to day of being with someone is really interesting. There is a podcast. Sorry, well, of course there's a podcast. There is a documentary on Netflix right now about this. And I really want to watch it because I do find it fascinating of wanting so bad to be accepted, to be loved, and having such insecurities that you block your chances of, like, having love, acceptance, a family, a companion, a relationship in your life, and then it further like makes you upset. Because there's like one thing for like incels to be like really unattractive or, you know, unable to talk to women, but he isn't. He just feels so lazy and so like defensive over change of his behavior of any way. Like he doesn't feel like he wants to soften for a woman or wants to make a woman, much less Anna, like feel good around him. He wants to like soften the blows for his day-to-day life. And that's why I feel like the Pink Pony Club pedicure was like little lackluster. Like if you are just coming to this country and you are just meeting this beautiful wife for the first time, like something romantic would be something romantic, like taking her to a beautiful dinner or away or something, or like treating her something or something specific to her or her life, not just like the place that she usually goes to get her like weekly pedicure. I would love to know like what her dating history is. Um, It's so interesting because obviously we get two people that are Americans going to the Philippines in the same season with Forrest and Sheena. And on this, we're going to move on to Forrest and Sheena now. Obviously, we're getting a lot of information on how Forrest and Sheena could potentially just go to the Philippines or stay in the Philippines and get married. And Javon's never brought that up. And remember how like he talked about how he knows he has a small dick and like a small income and like how things are working out for him? I would just think, you have like this beautiful wife and she has a home and her mom has a home right next door. The mom is great. Mom has a shop. Move there then. Take care of the old folks in there. You can make that mint lemonade here if you want, I don't know. Okay. So Forrest and Sheena. I want to say one more thing about Annalyn and Javon. Even though I said everything I did about him, which was mean and like or whatever, I'm not interested and he's not for me. She ends this episode very much being like, you know what? I'm into him. I'm real into it. I'll tell you, we fought, and then he told me that he wasn't going to be arrogant or sarcastic anymore. And then I hugged him, and he smelled, it was sweaty. And we're like, yeah, girl. And then she could not take her hands away from like her nose in a very like Mary Catherine Gallagher kind of way. Talking about like superstar. Old reference. And then in the confessionals, she was like all over him. There's a part of her that like really loves this man. I mean, even after the fight, she's like, yeah, you start to look hot. I wonder if he knows like what to do with her. I feel like in every moment he must be like playing dodgeball, because I think that one part of him is like, I cannot believe this really beautiful, feisty lady like has interest in me, and why, over and over again. And B, she's probably scares the hell out of him because she's very smart and he's he's just lazy. He has a lazy quality to him. It's like it's not slow in the way of like slow. I'm not saying he's dumb. He's just like he's just legato in his energy, like, but too legato. Like, he's like a brown noise, that just is. And she is all over the place frequency wise. She's almost like an Irish accent. She starts up here and goes down there. And so they are very opposite. And in that alone, I just don't know how it's going to last. Also, yeah, like they just met and like, they barely tolerate each other. And I can't quite tell if they like each other at all. I think that she's physically attracted to him. And I think that he wishes that he could be enough for someone like her. Is that it? I don't know. Forrest and Sheena. So, they're hailing a taxi. It's like, again, different modes of transportation in Philippines. This is going to be a jeepney. They're on the way to see a lawyer. Now this is where we get a lot of Forrest did not do his legwork. And I find that so wild because here he is. Here's Molly, who acts like his caretaker slash lawyer slash like doctor, power of attorney, like, mother, all of that. That's who she is, matchmaker. Like that's who Molly's energy comes with. And this conversation with the lawyer is so unbelievable that Forrest found out information that is basic that he didn't know, that I can't tolerate it quite here. So, monetary wise, we understand that we had been set up to believe the following: Sheena has a job, great job, makes money, puts money that she can into a savings account. That savings account has gone up and down. Now, here is why. A, Forrest thinks that Sheena should have the brunt of the entire responsibility to get her to America and pay the fees so they could be together. He and her talked about when that would happen, and she said this and this and that. She didn't tell him that she also gives money to her family. And she also didn't tell Forrest, buddy, you're going to give some money too, though, right? Like your due diligence of the money, right? Because she feels bad for Forrest because Forrest has, God bless, autism. Now, I'm not saying she should feel bad, but that's what I think is happening. At the same time, she is neurodivergent because they met in that group. I put you on do not disturb. Okay. So at the same time, God, I forget that I have my favorites on do not, they can break through my do not disturb. God damn. But I even had it on no volume. That's wild. You just never know. Okay. So basically, so sorry, my loves. Sorry, Christina. Okay. So Sheena's like, buddy, get a job. I know it can be hard, but like you can find something to get a job. This is Sheena, I feel like, talking. And she has said, like, there's got to be something you can do. And Forrest hasn't really talked so much about why he hasn't got a job until this episode. So, of course, they go to the lawyer place and the lawyer's like, hey, buddy, he's like, what's up? And he's like, hey, let me just ask you some questions. So, what's this whole thing about getting Sheena to America? And we're talking to a Filipino lawyer, like, okay. Filipino lawyer is like, yeah, well, you need $26,000 as the petitioner, and that's the income you need per year. And we're like, oh, that's it. It seems like a small amount. And he's like, okay, cool, income. Well, let me tell you about my income. I get disability, and they're like, oh yeah, that doesn't count as income. And Forrest didn't know that. He thought it did. Now, income, like meaning the money that you're getting, I could see how he thought that money he was getting was incoming into his life and therefore his bank account and incoming income. But this part doesn't make me feel like real Republican, or like whatever. But it's like, in my mind, you have to understand that if you are American and you're saying you're going to bring someone from a different country to come and move and live in America, you have to like have some things to make sure that like you have more for other people. Like that it's not just you, like you're trying to prove that like you have the capacity to help and to help others bridge the journey to America. Like that's what you're saying. You're saying I found someone from a different country. Let me be the bridge for them to come to America. That bridge has to be like financially stable. And the thing about disability and stuff like that is that I don't know, with unemployment and disability, I'm not exactly sure like how forever they are all the time. Like, I don't think the country wants to always be like, that's a forever thing for the rest of your life. So always count on it. In fact, count on it so heartily that if you have extra of what we're giving you, you can go ahead and just like bring people in from different places. It's just like it's not a great look. And I'm someone who, fuck ice. Like I want people to have the ability to come to America. I'm just saying if you're going to be petitioning to be like the sponsor, of someone, I think you have to have like the wherewithal that you are going to be a provider at that point. Like any American, regardless of sex, is going to provide their loved ones the bridge of like coming and living now in your home and like what you're doing. It'd be the same thing. I would assume, like, as we go into this conversation with the lawyer, it's not just the Americans. If I was moving to England, if I was Greta and Matthew, I would assume Matthew would have to have an income. Matthew can't just be like, well, England gives me $26,000 a year for disability. Guess what? It's 5,000 more than I need. So I can just use that 5K all documented to get someone else to just come live on an English dime. Like, no, no. Now, Sheena has a whole ass job. We know that. But Sheena's job is in the Philippines. So all of Forrest not knowing this, and as well as Molly not making sure that her son find out any of the rules of this, but making sure that he put all of the emphasis on Sheena being the financial provider is weird to me. Molly's indignant attitude about Sheena's money makes me now be wary of Molly, like as a financial schemer. That's crazy. Forrest hears, okay, I need $26,000 a year. Okay, I hear that. Okay, and you say my disability doesn't count. Okay, okay. Well, does her money count? No. Like, okay. I need Molly to make sure that Forrest understands what a visa is and what is expected of him. And I know that processing can be a challenge. So I want her to focus on getting these basics right before she starts putting her nose into people's finances, like how Sheena spends her money from being a doctor. Molly should be like, hey, Forrest, obviously I tell you that you need me, that you have to go to the Philippines and I have to be there because you can't, handle yourself. Let me just, buddy, make sure you know. Sheena's going to come to America. You have to be able to have money. She can't work for like 2 years, 1 year until the green card comes. You have to provide money for both of you guys to eat, to sleep, all of it. And it's more expensive in America than it is in Philippines. These are the numbers. These are literally the numbers. Here are some numbers. You make whatever, how I make you make whatever. The difference between your disability and this is this, but you can't even count the disability. So we're going to have to make sure that you can, find some TaskRabbit services that you're good at. I mean, Forrest is a smart man and he is like a good soul. And I think that there are so many different jobs. I wonder if we can just like isolate some things he'd be good at. Like, is he good at puzzles? Could he be put, like I said, TaskRabbit, is he good at putting IKEA furniture away? Would he be good at putting IKEA furniture away if he put together 2 or more of the same basic IKEA model desks? Could you just watch YouTube videos of like the Schwarzschild desk? You know what I'm saying? And then if you watch that YouTube video on how to put together the IKEA Schwarzschild desk 14 times, can you then be like a TaskRabbit and then just like help some little ladies or some stupid blobbity blue college frat boys put together their smart and carved desks for, $40 an hour? I mean, that's just one. But the fact that he doesn't know these basic things makes me feel like he was wronged by Molly. That they could have gotten this done before they stepped in the plane, before they started pointing fingers about Sheena's money and where it was going and why she's giving it to her parents and the cultural importance of that. They needed to get their ducks in the row. And it was, what are the laws about these things? What has to happen? What are my responsibilities? What are her responsibilities? And we kept wondering why he was skirting all of his responsibilities and putting it all on her. We also kept wondering why Sheena wasn't like, "Hey, buddy, take some of those responsibilities back." Why it was kind of like on Sheena's dad to be like tiptoeing around, like, "All right, well, this is our daughter. Don't you have something going for you? Molly and your son, Forrest?" And we know the answer is no, but I think it's like we assumed they knew the answer was no, and we should change that. But now I realize Forrest thought the answer was, "Oh, I need to do something as well?" I don't know. Molly is the lost cause. We don't know because I'm assuming Molly understands financial stuff a little more, or at least she says she does. I don't know how they all live. How have they survived the entire time? Like, do they all just pod together, her and Deb, like, and like, do they just like, survive the winter elements together by just shivering all and using body heat? I mean, yeah, I, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. So basically, the lawyer is like, "Okay, I'm seeing that this conversation is blowing your mind for us. That you, as an American, didn't, I don't know, do like a Google AI lookup of like what's happening here. So I'm just going to tell you that you can avoid all of this talk and worrying about how you're going to like make ends meet by just moving to the Philippines. We don't deal with that. You could just literally move here. You could just get married and be here." So it's so interesting because this whole time, Forrest has been like low key threatening that, right? Right? This whole time, Forrest has been like, "I just might live in the Philippines. I just might move there with all of their underwear for people like me." You're just like, "Oh." But then when he painted himself in a corner by not doing any homework to find out how things work here, when the lawyer is like, "All right, buddy, well, just move here then, I guess, if that's what it is." Then Forrest is like, "I don't know if I can. I don't wasn't really thinking that that's what I wanted to do as much as I talk the talk and I walk the walk. I love my mommy. I need my mom." Well, it's really Dev. I can't be without Dev. Run, Sheena, run. Run, Sheena, run. It's just that here's the thing. I get it. Sheena's like, I think, Sheena's like, "I met this person online. He loves me so much. He wants to be with me so much." Forrest not only loves Sheena, they're in a codependent relationship where they feel like they're, soulmates and they have no other way but this, and that each other's presence in each other's lives has changed it for the better. You know what I'm saying? And so I know that's how she feels too. And there's the other unspoken part of what's real, what's not, because like I said, a lot of people thought there was a lot of fraudacity with their storyline. And it's really difficult to believe that he was so daft to basic visa stuff. So much so that I wish that the producers would make it a little more believable. Like, unless he really has a conversation with Molly next where he's like, Mom, why didn't you tell me that I needed to have $26,000 a year and that my disability didn't count and that Sheena couldn't give me money? Like, that seems like you probably knew that, right? Why didn't you tell me that? Why did you keep telling me to harp on whether she was putting money into a bank account if it really didn't make a difference? Because I need to have an income, Mom. Like, I need to have Molly answer to that. I didn't know. I was too busy trying to make burgers as tasty as those strip club burgers Dev always talks about. I kept putting salt on them. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I think it's so shitty that he's like, "Yeah, I'll move to the Philippines," and now he's like, "I don't want to move." Also, remember how there was this one moment where we found out that Sheena like had always wanted to move to America, and we sort of never really discussed that. We just were like, "Huh." I wonder if like I want to see Sheena be upset at Forrest. I kind of want her to be like, "You fucking asshole. This whole time you could have gotten a job. You were just like so obsessed with like my shit. And now what? Now we're not going to be together because you're not going to even try to get a job. And you know how much I've wanted to like go find Zach Braff's house. I don't know. I cannot imagine that Sheena is a Scruffs fan. I don't know why I said Zach Braff. I think there's like some stupid pop culture story where he like allegedly was in a relationship with like an AI chatbot. I don't think it's true. Anyway, but I want her to be upset at her situation with Forrest, and I want her to try and whip him into shape with a little anger, with a little, yeah, with a little like, you might lose this. You've gotten too comfortable. You were blaming me the entire time. You didn't get your shit together. Okay, well then, what is this, Forrest? Are you gonna like put your big boy pants on and get something done? All right, my loves. Okay, so Rick and Trish, honey, they're packing at the hotel and they are going to go back to, well, they're going to go to her village. So he brought baby wipes because he doesn't believe in the plumbing there. And I think that that was probably a good sign. It was probably good. He can't flush the baby wipes, obviously. I mean, I don't know what he can do something with them. He's going to find out. Okay, so do you know that they have portable bidets? They do. They have portable bidets. I bought one. Yeah, it's like it comes like in a little like it comes in a little like water bottle, and they have this device that you charge, and then it somehow squirts things like where you want it to be squirted. And I will say that I lived a long part of my life without using a bidet because I'm like American. It's so interesting though. Once you get a bidet, though, you can't ever go back. Then you get then you get like a travel bidet because you're like, oh no, I really like him. Um, he has a sensitive butt though. He's very sensitive. His whole life is sensitive. She's like, he's always whining, and he is. He's always complaining, always whining. He's like such a little kind of guy. Um, it's funny because there's a part of his face where he does look young. You can almost like see what he looked like when he was like smaller, younger, and he he probably was such a little menace when he was young. And then he got on like whatever roids or whatever that makes him look the way he does. The HGH growth hormone or whatever those dudes do. But his personality is so like wimpy. He's just so limp. He's like the limpest, flaccidest kind of like scared little whiny, selfish, weird, gross guy. And it's funny because he's physically not that, like, I mean, now of course he is like, but like when you saw him, you wouldn't immediately say these things if you hadn't heard him talk or anything like that. But yeah, it's so interesting. I like the idea of having his ex-wives or like his like the people that he's been with watch him on this show and just being like, he never was shit. Like, I like to think of the people that watch Rick or other people we don't like on the show who have known their whole lives that this person is ridiculous, and now they get to watch them be cringy on TV, make foolish choices. Okay, so that's one thing. So he does this really annoying thing where he like apologizes to Trish for picking a fight with her yesterday, but he doesn't really apologize. He's like, I apologize for getting mad the other day, but you just got to stop being stuck in the past. And it's like, don't say a but on your fucking sorry, buddy. You were walking and she's like, I like this restaurant. I went to this restaurant before. Oh, really? Yeah. Like my ex took me to this restaurant. It's really, no, it's not a good restaurant. No, I mean, I did eat there. It's a good restaurant. This is my country. I mean, I know things. You don't have to mansplain me what a good restaurant is. Like, He's so insecure. And he went and fucked some woman like because she hadn't talked to him in 3 days. I hate this. I hate it so much. So that I mean, I hate him. So I don't know what to do. Like, there's no how to get out of this. Like, how? Okay, so anyway, they get a tuk tuk and they go to the village to like find her whole family, and her whole family comes out, and everyone is super lovely, nice. There's like her sister Posey, honey. They all come out. There's Randry. There's a Russell. Everyone has like interesting names. You know, you're just like, oh my god, okay. And Rick is overwhelmed. It's a lot of people, and they all kind of look like her. And he's like, I'm not gonna remember who is and what their name is. And they're like, hopefully the same. Hopefully we can say the same about you. Um, he also had made this comment where he's like, she was like, yeah, my family's gonna be so happy to see me. And he's like, happy to see you. How about me? And I want to be like, no, she was right the first time. Her. Why are they happy to see you? You're the same age as her father. And like, it's the same kind of thing I hate. Okay. I detest when Americans don't understand basic things about a different culture. And I know I'm Arab, but I'm so American that this seems wild to me. Like, it's always seemed wild to me that an American doesn't understand that like a person from a different country and culture, especially if they're young, that having children, unless it's one of the first things they say, is a deal breaker. They want it. Not just for them, but for their parents and their whole family. And I'm saying, even if they themselves don't want it, I hate to say this, culturally, they'll not be able to say no to their entire family that expects a lineage. So much so that it's fucking insulting to consider trying to nab and steal away such a beautiful genetic mother giver like Trish, to deny that family Trish's babies. Now, I'm talking from like someone who I'm assuming is from that culture and wants to have kids. I'm not saying that Americans should think that or that but Rick has to understand this. It is insulting to be like, I want to marry your beautiful young daughter, fertile as fuck daughter, gorgeous. The whole city town like wants to be with your daughter. I think I'm good enough to take her away, but I don't want to have kids with her, thereby stopping your lineage. So this is your daughter, sir. You wished upon seeing grandchildren because, like your culture, your life, your religion, like, feels and says that is like happiness, joy. It's what life is made out of, like whatever the traditional things are that a lot of cultures think about family and all that stuff. For him to have the audacity to even show up at that family's house, in that family's greeting room, not knowing what a slap in the face it is to not offer children to them, it's confusing. Because the other thing about it is this is what it is. I love your daughter. I want to marry your daughter. I want to make your daughter happy for the rest of her life. Just kidding. No, I don't. Because he has to assume that paramount to Trisha's happiness is Trish being able to experience motherhood in a visceral way. She's been a doula, all that stuff. She wants to have children. So it doesn't make any goddamn sense to show up at a family's house and be like, I want to marry your daughter. Or, I love your daughter. You don't love her. You don't want her happiness. If you wanted her happiness, this young, beautiful woman who wants to have children, if you did, then you would give her children. You're so stupid and ugly and old, Rick. And unfortunately, you can have kids for the rest of your goddamn days. So it's like the fact that you are denying her this when you could easily do it really goes to show how much you don't care about her and how much she only is a piece to the puzzle of Rick to make Rick look good, because Rick can't get anyone in America that looks or acts or is anything like her to be interested in him. And knowing that to his core, he still won't do the basic thing of having a kid for her. Why? Is because he doesn't want another kid. B, here's the truth. Off camera, he dealt with a really horrible tragedy. Now, he might not talk about that on TV. And I'm bringing it up now because it happened and they brought it up on Reddit. He had a child that was unalived. Um, so there could be trauma there. However, you can't put someone's trauma on someone else. Your trauma isn't hers. She wants a child, period. If you don't want to give her a child, get the fuck out of there. Go to Colombia and go back to the lady you want to be with, or I don't know, find someone age appropriate of yours that doesn't want children anymore. It's so easy, but he won't. He wants to be with a hot ass squirter, right? It's what Rick wants. It's what Rick wants in the moment. He wants a hot ass squirter, and he wants her to just grin and bear and be happy with her life, raising his kids, holding the camera as he does his lives for his hair extensions. Think about what he wants her life to be. Think about how this man shows up to her house to what? Ask for her hand so that he can take away her from her family for what? How horrible. Everything about this I hate. So I hate that. I hate that, when he is shown the house, and the amenities and the bathroom is like an outhouse, Yeah, he's not gracious. He's not at all like, "Oh, outside? Okay. Just gonna have to learn how to use it or whatever." Like, he's just like, "What? What the fuck? No! What do you use? Wait, you want me to wipe my butt with old papers, like the papers that are used for my contracts? Because in America we have things." Ugh, I don't know. Like, it's just so loud and enough where she's like embarrassed. She's like, "Shut the fuck up. You're always complaining, and now you're gonna complain at my parents' house?" Like, I you know, I just obviously got done telling you that I have like a a travel bidet. So, I am bougie. I'm a bougie person. You can tell if you're looking at me on YouTube right now. I'm one of the kind of people that even overlines their top lip a little bit. Like, I wish I wasn't this way. Here I am. All that to say, like, if I found myself on TV with people like the way I was raised, I would rather like the earth swallow me whole than to be rude on television in someone's home. Or the thought of embarrassing someone who's hosting me by making them feel bad about what they have in relationship to the privilege of that I know that I will go back to momentarily, like makes my face want to melt off. I can't feel my face when I watch this, Rick. I don't want to be with you. Uh, and Trish has to bear it too. It's really difficult to watch, and it's interesting because they all gather after, like, he makes a big fucking stink of like how the bathrooms work or whatever. She hates him so much, and they're asking questions to him or whatever. He's like getting interrogated. It feels a little bit like Ashley's dad in Love Is Blind, and he tells him how old he is, and it's old, and they're like, well, what do you want, kids? And she has to obviously translate for Rick the whole time. Her head has been in her hands the whole time because she knows what's coming, and he's doing a horrible job. He can barely stay. He can't sit. He can't stand. He's so uncomfortable, literally, figuratively. He's like, "What'd they say? What are they asking me?" And she's like, "They want babies, asshole. They're asking you when you're going to have a baby with me." And he has to be like, "Well, I don't know if I want to not offend your family enough." Like, it is like, it's interesting to me that Rick doesn't understand how offensive it is. I mean, even though he's American, he's old. He's older than me. So, like, in that sense, like, I'm at some point, he was raised with enough traditional folk to understand that some people in this world, like, think babies are real important in the cycle of things. Again, Chris Farah is not saying this, but we have to understand culturally other people that, like, families, babies and making the family name, keeping on, like all of that is like a whole big ass thing in many cultures. It's like being like, okay, you want to take my daughter away? Uh, yeah. Well, what should I expect? Well, we're never going to have a home. I can't tell you if I'm going to allow her to live in a home. Um, I really kind of just want to like couch surf it with her for the rest of our lives, like different people's places that we can do. Like as unstable as saying that, like it's unfathomable. It's like yeah. Okay. So yeah, I just don't know what it's going to be like for them. He definitely didn't deserve that water sprinkle blessing. He's not going to deserve like that bracelet. I'm like, who gets to wear that bracelet? Is that for her? She needs it. Oh, okay. So let's move on, my loves. Let's move on to Elise and Josh. So Elise, she's coughing in bed, honey. I don't know if it's like the time difference or the fact that she was like forced to just jump into like a slutty ass dress right off of like a 40-hour, airplane and then go right to like, a bar and who knows, stay up all night long, like just drink all of the things. So she's like, tired AF. And obviously the whole thing was like he was going to like start on the couch. But she got so sick that he turned into like Mr. Nurse. And the way that he Mr. Nursed her was that he got in a bed and cuddled her all night while she coughed. Okay. Now, first of all, if you haven't ever had sex with someone and you have never even slept in the same room with someone or the same bed with someone, and you do so, I can't even imagine what it's like to even sleep. I never sleep one wink when I'm in bed with someone the first time. Never. 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 I can't imagine it. So many people do, right? Now here's the thing. Yeah, like people will just pass the fuck out and snore immediately. Crazy to me. Elise, if she's sick, I can't imagine is comfortable just suddenly sleeping in bed with someone. Like, I can't sleep. I can't imagine. I'm like, oh, I can't sleep. Oh, good. A stranger in bed, a hot ass stranger. Like, now I'll sleep well. Like, Elise wasn't sleeping well. Elise was doing that thing where she was putting that like booty right up in his, like, like doing that like little spoon, like a hard ass little spoon, like with like, a booty out little spoon, and she kind of like keeps rubbing her booty around, like that area, to like just oops, I shift. That's what she did all night long. Neither of them slept. Okay. Next thing, he gets her famous Australian dish, Vegemite and toast. Now, that toast looks good. Doesn't like I love a rye bread. Now, she does not like the taste of Vegemite. And so, let me tell you what Vegemite is. It's a dark brown, salty, savory Australian food spread made from leftover brewer's yeast extract with added vegetable and spice flavors. It has an umami flavor similar to beef bouillon. It's rich in glutamites. How the hell did it even get made? Okay, I'll tell you. It was developed by Cyril Callister in Melbourne, Victoria for a food company. It's a spread and it's low food map, vegan, kosher, and halal. Yeah, it just has a lot of B vitamins. Why though? Oh, okay. So this guy had to make it because he was tasked in developing a spread from the used yeast being dumped by breweries. And he used autolysis to break down the yeast cells. Okay, honey, I don't know. God bless. It's just like, ugh. It is wildly fucked up when you consider how things were forced on society for certain benefits. Now, I think fermentation's good and stuff like that, but a weird processed product spread in a can jar like that, I can't quite understand. okay, this is what it is. I like salty things, but like I love cheese. Like I could imagine a world in which like I, made cheesy toast every day. So it's like, yeah, putting like a umami flavor on a toast. She's disgusted by it. He thinks she should give it a second shot. He, I don't quite understand if he realizes how bougie she is. He's going to find out though. So then, honey, they go to a beach. Now, here's the thing about the beach. They're walking in the beach. It looks beautiful. She's wearing like this bandeau top that is strapless and has like these cute gold hardwares. And we're like, oh, great. And like white jean shorts. And then she's like, oh, the beach. Oh no, I have to change. And we're like, oh, just take off those white shorts, girl. You have the bikini bottoms underneath. But she doesn't. Elise has a different complete bathing suit that she has to change into on the beach. And I found that interesting because I mean her top was a bikini top. To me, well, that's a bikini top. Isn't that a bikini top? I don't understand what they dress like in Miami. I mean, it is wild to me. Miami is crazy. I mean, I think I understand now, like the Darcy is of it all. Like I think I thought that every time Darcy was like, "Oh, this is classy and this is what they wear." Like I think that I always thought that can't possibly be real. And I haven't spent a lot of time in Miami, but I'm going to go in April. I'm so excited. I've been only once, but it was like for like a religious convention. Well, anyway, so now I'm going to go back and it's like I need to see if people really dress this way. Like, are people dressed like wild banshees all the time? I mean, God bless. Is it always just painted on dresses? Like, am I gonna look like I'm in a full hijab if I wear my normal clothes, which is like American clothes and not, like religious clothes? Like what am I gonna look like? Do I have to go shopping? I don't have any latex. I don't even, wild. Okay, so after the beach, they're like, really frolicking in the water. I mean, true frolicking. You can really see like a good frolic. And you're like, oh, okay, those people want a bone. And she's jumping on his back and he's loving it. And then they get back to the apartment. Chris is nowhere to be found. And she's like, we have such good sexual chem. I know we're supposed to wait, but it's really hard. And then he like lights a fancy candle. And I want to say it's a fancy candle, Josh, because, there's a lot of shitty candles in this world and no one cares less about candles than like some straight men. I one time was given a Yankee candle for Valentine's Day, and it was the last Valentine's Day I had with that person. Okay, God bless. So, but he I don't know what it is. His candle is fancy. I do like that. He knows it's good. He knows that she's bougie. So God bless. He is like, I'm gonna give you a massage. She's like, great, great, great. The cough's gone. He does the classic fuckboy move of like a quick bra snap. Now, in this picture, he's using two fingers, which were like, no, the true fuckboy is honey can do it in that one pinch. That one pinch. We've all been there if you're a female, if you wear a bra, if you've hooked up with a fuckboy, which is that there are certain, and maybe there's, you know what? Tell me this. I haven't hooked up with a lady. I want to know if there's any like, I guess like flippers or studs or like whatever kind of like, what's the fuckboy version of a lesbian fuck girl? Like a charming, like anyone like a smooth talker, whatever kind of like the player version of whatever gender, I don't give a shit. Anyone who undoes a bra. There's something to having it being done by someone in one fall swoop and two things happen. You're like, oh shit. This person, has definitely attempted this before and like loves this trick and loves to show it off and like can't wait to get in my bra. And the second thing is, oh no. And the third thing is, great. Good. Because I hate taking off my bra. And by the way, because I have like triple D's, if you do my bra in one snap, It's kinda like you did, like, 3 little guys, like, you do it's like a 3 thing. It is impressive, but it does mean that you do it a lot, and it does sort of mean that you like that maneuver, and it does sort of mean that you worked on that maneuver. I wonder, like, there's, like I'm trying to think. There's no, like, really great blowjob techniques I have, like, but I'm trying to think if there was, like, something I would do that the minute a guy saw me do it, they'd be like, "Oh, fuck, she does this a lot. This is her thing." Remember when I don't know, like, used to be, like, fun ways to put on a condom, like rolling it down with your mouth or something like that. Do people use condoms still? I think so, right? Um, I'm trying to think of, like, fun tricks that you do when you're hooking up with someone that sort of shows everyone in the playing field that, like, professionals are afoot. Anyway, can you please comment and tell me, like, what your favorite move is? I really need A, to know, and then also B, I need new moves. Okay, so, Josh feels safe with Elise. I, um, I'm not quite sure. I'm not saying she's not a safe person, but, like, I don't know what it would be about her in the demeanor, just like that she allows him to pick her outfits or exactly what it is that is so safe for him. I mean, she's hot as hell. She has like such a great body. I don't know if it's like her incredibly hot body makes him just feel so safe. Like I don't know. It just came out of left field. We're like, all right, Josh. Honey, he just, like, told her his trauma, it was hard. He one time was, like, with this person that really wanted him to make money. It was so bad for him because he always felt bad. Elise hears this and she doesn't run for some reason. Yeah, it's like Elise wants a rich person. She can't be with someone who's, like, really okay. She can't be with someone who's not financially stable. And I hate to say that, but it's obvious, right? Like, look at Elise. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. She obviously, yes. Like, Elise cannot understand that Josh doesn't have the money she wants him to. It's so interesting. She's like, Josh, everything would be great. I just got to ask you a question, Josh. Why, 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 why do you have to have a roommate? And she's already said it, which is like, because he can't afford to not. But she asks him that question. She sort of makes him like say it. He's like, well, I was living with my parents, remember, right? And then I really couldn't afford, yeah. So remember the job thing? Yeah. So, um, yeah, my option was for you to come and me not to have a place or for me to have like a place for 3 months and I can't afford it by myself for 3 months. So that's why Chris is here. She's like, well, what happens when I'm not here? And he's like, well, I live with Nat. And she's so shocked by that. I think that she thinks that he is just choosing not to spend money that he does have. And I feel like she kind of keeps wanting him to just be like, Elise, I spend all my money I make on coke and alcohol. I surely can't afford like to wine and dine you at all. I can barely afford like the goldfish crackers you asked for, and then you asked for towels. Bitch, I can't afford towels. We have one, and it's Nat's. I stole that towel from Nat, and it still has her hair dye on it. I mean, it's like Josh doesn't have money. That's why it's sticking. So she's like, okay. So anyway, yeah, Chris obviously comes in when the massage is happening, and she's like, no, Chris, no, Chris, no, don't look at my boobie. Chris is like, and at the same time, yeah, she's like, God, it was so embarrassing in the confessional. She's like, it was so crazy. I was just laying there, tits out, my body just pressed against the couch, and you massaging my whole ass body. And then Chris comes in. Who would have guessed? The other person that has a key to this place walks in because the cameras are rolling. And so he knows when people are there. And then he sees my body. Did you see it, Chris? It was so weird, Josh. Why did it happen? And when can it happen again? You're just like, oh my God. And they're all fucking. God bless. They all fucking. They all want to fuck. You know what I'm saying? God bless. I hope. At this point, they should be. They should be selling it for OnlyFans. They'd make money that way. You know. God bless. So, obviously they're having sex now, and they're like, now it's like went from like we can't have sex to now it's like day 2. They're in bed. She's like popping his zits. God bless. It's real fast. And she's like, I'll tell you one thing about that, Josh. The dick's uncircumcised. I'm always like wildly shocked how quick they get people to talk about the nitty-gritty details. Not just like not just like we had sex, it was bad or it was good or it was 10 times or, okay, or his, it's just always like, yeah, his dick is big, his dick is small, his dick and I will say this, as a female, it's really shitty. Don't talk about your lover's genitals on TV because let's just say this. There's not a realm in which Josh could ever say anything about Lisa's like vagina that we would tolerate. The only time a male has ever remarked about a woman's nether regions on the show was Muhammad doing it to Danielle. And that's why we still watch the show. Because when he said that her parts smelled weird, we were like, it's horrible. It's really bad that you said that. Don't say it again. Don't air a whole other season of this. Hopefully, no, right? But they did. And then, now we're obviously on season 8, but before the 90 days. When I'm talking about happened, original 90 days. Anyway, so he would never, right, be like, Elise has longer labias than you would think. She has uncircumcised labias. They're longer. What am I going to do with all that extra labia skin is the first thing I thought of when I saw Elise's vagina. And then I was like, I'll make it work. Right? That's not what he would ever say to her. I'm not saying she has long labias. And if you do, God bless you. I think they're great. But that's what she said about him, basically. She was like, he's uncircumcised. What am I going to do with all that skin? And, the truth of the matter is, okay. Elise is 33. She's never been with an uncircumcised man. I think Elise is. Did she say? I don't remember if she. I can't remember if. I don't know what her ethnicity is or what her religion is, but yeah, maybe she's just only been with like circumcised men. I'm shocked. I think at some point, a girl like Elise has seen a bunch of them. Yeah, they're just all biblical dicks. A lot of biblical dicks. Also, like, bodies in themselves look so different. I guess I never feel like you should remark on someone's body like that. There are so many uncircumcised penises. It's not that crazy. Also, the skin is like not that hard to deal with because like once, things are on the up and up, things remedy themselves. By the way, I talk about this a lot, but I really feel like everyone should go through a period of watching Naked Attraction, that like BBC or like that British show. Because watching Naked Attraction sort of does desensitize you to the need for human bodies to look perfect all the time or have like some idealistic thing, especially in this age, especially in fucking Instagram age and filters. Like, I do think there's this thing where like we don't know what bodies look like, or we are so afraid that our body looks so vastly different from what is expected, which is a perfect ideal, that it weighs on us. And we're like, no, there's so many different types of bodies that yours, like whatever yours looks like a lot of other people's. Like, that's what I want to say. Like, I don't, It's very rare for someone's body part, for someone to have a body part that looks so wildly different from a lot of other people's. I mean, like, if you think of, like, the perkiest tits to the most pendulum tits, there's a lot of pendulum tits. There's a lot of pendulum tits. Like, the entire National Geographic was pendulum tits. You know what I'm saying? So, it was so nice in the '90s to not be like, "Oh," because you would be like, "Wait, that's so weird." It felt like there were Playgirl boobies. I knew what mine looked like, and then anytime I'd see boobs, I'd be like, "Well, I didn't know what it would look like." But then, other when you grow up, you realize boobs are plenty. They're all over the place, literally. Like same thing with dicks, same thing with badges, same thing with like stomachs and legs, and like everything looks. Oh, sorry. Everyone has a range of different looks, but not so much that the majority of everything we have isn't like easily identifiable. That someone probably hasn't seen a pair of titties that look like mine. I know they have. Like I've seen a whole human woman's body that looks just like mine. I've seen a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? I've seen them online or like I've seen them in real life, or I'm like, wow, we have almost an identical body. Like, and I mean that. Like, wow, our boobs look the exact same. Like our waists are high with high waists. Oh, our legs. It's just everything that I think makes my body, different looking. And, maybe, yeah, it's like hard to tailor myself for the following reasons. I'm short waisted. I have long legs. I have big boobs. I have, like whatever. God bless. None of those things are like so crazy looking. No human has ever seen me naked and being like, what the fuck is that? And I think that we can feel so other because I think that we think that everyone looks the exact same. And yeah, it's surprising when it was so surprising for me to be like, girl, be a little more sophisticated, honey. Go to Europe. See some dicks. See David's dick. See David's dick. Takes all kinds of dicks to make a world, babe. Anyway, um, So then, okay. So then they finally go and meet up with his friends, like his female friends, like Nat and this other girl. Okay, God bless. And Elise comes dressed the way she comes, honey, which is like a blue bandeau dress. I mean, she looks hot as hell, but it's hilarious because again, I'm like, oh my God. She's like, it's really important to be accepted into the group of friends. Now, she knows she's gonna go meet Nat, which I'm happy about. She makes Josh carry her Christian Dior. I think it's fake though shopping tote because she says it matches his perfectly. And I'm confused by that because I'm like, well, yeah, you do know this dress, you do know this bag doesn't match your outfit, but why bring it? What's in it? Are you going to change into another bathing suit? Like you're going to go have drinks with these lovely people. They're all like wearing like white linen shirts. Why are you bringing this like huge ass bag? It's too big. Anyway, meanwhile, look at this like Chanel. Is that real? I don't know. I love that like Nat and her friend are like, listen, we knew we had to like wear our titty tops. But we had no fucking clue that like we were gonna have this kind of titty in our life. So then Elise comes up and she's like, nice to meet y'all, Elise. Okay. And then right fucking away, Nat's like, oh, you're a y'all person, huh? It's almost a little too dry, almost a little too snappy, almost a little like too like not British, but you know something like that. You kind of UK her. It's quick, it's snappy. It goes over her head, honey. She's like, you're right, I am tall. No, I meant y'all, not tall. Elise just like, on to the next, on to the next. Elise is not paying attention. She's like in Elise land. She's like, I showed up. I look like this. I got to meet his friends. She's like hugging other guys. She's just like, okay. So Josh lives with you. And she almost like starts to sort of blame Nat about it. She's like, I just feel like you have financial dominance over him. And it's a little bit because like Nat's like, listen, he needed a place to live and I let him live at my house. And I want to be like, okay, two things here. A, if your man had finances, he wouldn't be able to be dominated. That's not Nat's fault. That's his fault. Also, B, FinDom is a whole thing. C, Yeah, this isn't someone who's, like, using their money to, like, manipulate Josh. This isn't, like, some high-powered attorney who's, like, trying to buy his way into, like, college co-ed dorm rooms with, like, wild amounts of money and then saying he's gonna blackmail. It's like, that's not what's happening here. She probably likes to party. She is like, "Listen, I have a whole ass house. I'm fucking fabulous. I have Chanel's, whatever." If Josh is poor, a poor sad bloke who doesn't have any money and doesn't mind just like putting his head downstairs for some free rent every now and then, that's what's happening. And that's not on me. Like, that's what I feel like Nat and Josh's relationship is. They, of course, have sex. Of course they do. Of course they do. They get messy all the time. They fuck all the time. They drink and they fuck. Period. Period. Done. It's not a question. It's not a thing. Elise, I don't know what you want to do with that information. I mean, you have two things. You can either be like, oh, yeah, well, I like a man who's scrappy who can get free rent, or that makes you mad. And if that makes you mad, it can make you mad for one of the two reasons. A, because you wish that your chosen guy had, you know, options to not have to fuck for rent. But you can't be mad at Nat. Why be mad at Nat? He'd be homeless if it wasn't for Nat. Nat didn't say, come live with me or I won't. I mean, like, it's just, it didn't make any sense. It also is that thing where Elise is like blaming a woman for something that she should be blaming Josh for. Here is the real truth. She's already come in being like, I want a man who, isn't going to be a gold digger. And I want a man who's like, gonna make my parents proud because I like fucked over this other relationship. Like, Elise knows in her heart of hearts that she is the kind of woman that wants like a financially secure man to pay for fancy Nobu nights and like to make one of those bags real and all that stuff. Like, that's what she wants. And I get it. I think she deserves it, and I think Miami, like, there's people that probably, have that. I also think that she probably that does think that Josh is hot. I don't understand why Josh is lying about being 39 though. Or or if that is just what happens with like wild amounts of like sun damage and alcohol decay. Josh is going to resent not being able to provide Elise a lifestyle that would make her like happy. And Elise, I can't wait for her to like put two together that he can't afford meals for her. Like, who's going to pay for you guys to go out? Who's even paying for the drinks the whole time you're there? Like, I'm assuming Elise is at some point, or I mean, or I feel like Chris and Josh like con together to get shit. It's interesting though. So, yeah, I think I can't wait for I feel like it's going to come to I think this is what I want to say. We know that Matt Sharp loves a secret, and I think there's going to be a secret involved in like Josh and Chris's life. Like, there's something they're not telling us. There's a reason why, like, everything is a little temporary or something. I would love them to be like cam models together, like something like that. I really, I feel like something's coming for them. Because I think that Elise would be great to ambush in that kind of surprise way. Like, I feel like the producers, for better or for worse, would know that an Elise style personality would give good TV if they shocked her with an oh shit what moment, which she would. Elise is good TV. Like, Elise knows that, at least assuming I'm assuming that she understands that she, like, is surely superficial and and, like, very, very vain, very, very vapid, and, like, comes across as being a little, like, holier than thou, but also, like, kind of dumb. But she leans into it in such a fun way that I don't mind it. I don't think that she is mean or has a mean-spirited bone in her body. I do think that she has, like, a lot of insecure bones in her body that, like, manifest themselves in the way they do, which is pointed and or, like, angry or whatever, or I don't know, like, just improperly aimed at people. But there's also a part of Elise that, like, to me, just, like, also is like a little girl that wants to have fun and, like, be loved and, be made to feel like a sexy, pretty princess. Emphasis on sexy. Yeah, Elise is sexy, but she doesn't feel that way on the inside. When she looks in the mirror, there's something that she sees that she wants to, like, eradicate. And I wonder what Elise's energy would be like if, like, she could somehow look in the mirror and see the person she sees and be like, "Hey girl, we did it. I love you. We did it." I wanted let's just, of course, could I have Elise with less filler? Yes, I can. Like, I wish the lips were down a little bit for sure. But I wonder, like, if Elise could look at the mirror and be like, "You know what? I was nerdy," or whoever I don't know how she felt when she was younger, whatever, I was an ugly duckling, whatever she was felt like or whatever. But now, like, I'm hot. I live in Miami. I live a privileged life. I, was on some stupid TV show as in, like, basically an extra, and I got myself to be basically a cast member, like a series regular cast member on that show. I'm talking about Hot for Love, and then turn around and now I get to be on the show. Really, like, I did it. I want her to, like, almost sit in an air of acceptance and happiness and validation for herself. And I wonder if she would, like, felt a little more secure about what she accomplished for herself if she could, like, wield that to get, I don't know, like, a little bit of that neediness, a little bit of that desperation off of her and attract someone that could, like, give her happiness and joy for more than 2 nights. I wonder if Elise has ever, I don't know, because I'm not, like, a deep diver on her Instagram. Has she put up pictures of herself, like, in high school and stuff? Like, I surely looked crazy, in grade school and high school. Like, I had, you can look at my YouTube. I've been every weight possible. God bless. I've had bushy eyebrows. I've had, braces on my teeth. I've, didn't brush my hair for so long because whatever, God bless. There's a billion things that I've done aesthetic wise and didn't do aesthetic wise. And when I was in school, like, for sure, there's just so many awkward years. So all that to say, Elise makes me feel like she felt awkward or that she felt like an ugly duckling. And so I wonder if she's ever put up pictures of the way she used to look when she was younger. Because I feel like it'd be like a major change, like a major, I think she, like, really transformed herself. And therefore, I think that when she looks in the mirror, doesn't even see the person she is now and still sees the other person. And the difference, though, is I don't want her to hate that person. You can still see the little person inside you or the person that you like. Everyone looks in their mirror and, like, sees a version of themselves. But for better or for worse, you have to learn to love that version and be like, I have compassion for you. I'm proud of you. There were things that were hard for you, but we did it. You did it. We did it. Like, we went through uncomfortable things and we learned lessons and we felt bad and we overcame or whatnot. Anyway. Okay, my loves, let's move on. I don't know. This is the longest episode. Jesus Christ. Okay, Lisa and Daniel. I don't know. Why did I talk so long? I love that there's not even a co-host. It's still longer than every other co-host episode. Oh my God. Okay, this is the craziest one though, Lisa and Daniel. So obviously we're hot on the heels of her being like, I have more to tell you. And the thing is, married, married 5 times, not quite divorced yet, but don't worry, it's not a man, it's a woman. And Daniel obviously is wildly homophobic. Wildly homophobic, really bad, really shitty. Now that's his culture. This whole igloo culture, I guess, really, the whole time has been not into women and women and men with men. Not the first culture to not be into it, or historically, a lot of religious ones for surely not, but that's what's happening here. It's uncomfortable. Now, we're like, Lisa, every decision you've made has been crazy, and why would you do that? Now, when I say every decision, except for honestly the clothes, she has come with great clothes. I loved all her outfits. I've loved her shoes. She even bought like brand new luggage for this, and she had came with extra wigs. Now we're going to break all of this down, but let's get into like the back and forth with Lisa and Daniel first. He's upset, and and he is just like straight up mean and calling her like evil. He is just like looking at her as if her head is spinning, and she's like, I'm trying to tell you who I am, Daniel. I'm not a lesbian. I'm not straight. I'm not bisexual. And at this point, we're like, well, well, Pan, are you about to say Pan? You're Pan? And then she says, I just believe that people should love people. And we're kind of like, Pan, I don't want to label you, girl, but you can do it. But just if you're going to say a bunch of labels, you're not going to actually say one that is like a positive. If you want to look it up, it seems like you might be Pan. But, this is not me. I'm just moving on. So that happened. And obviously everything she's saying is right. And then he is obviously upset. And he is upset, and he's done for being upset, because you have two options in this world, Daniel. You can either let the ancestors allow this white woman to save you, and if so, then you grin and bear whatever the fuck she says, or not. But he's like, you are evil, and she's like, I'm not evil. I take care of people. In fact, I've been taking care of you. You like that orange shirt you're wearing, Daniel? All your friends do. You like those new slides you're wearing, Daniel? You didn't think I was evil when I bought you those slides, did you, Daniel? But do you think the devil bought you those slides? You know, wear your devil slides then, Daniel? Take off your clothes and all. That's how you feel. I mean, half of me is, yeah, like I'm a fucking petty bitch. I'd be like, okay, then, yeah, then the devil bought you everything you own. It's all devil worshiping clothes. You've already been wearing them. Just so you know, but that's not what happens. Obviously, I get mad. He goes on. He goes, from your head to your toe is full of secrets and lies. In fact, you just keep on vomiting secrets. He's just so upset about the secrets. Meanwhile, it's like, you haven't said shit about your life to her. I don't know why. She never asked any questions about his life. A, because she did not want him to ask questions about her life, right? And so he doesn't have any secrets because she's not pressed him on anything. And if she did, he'd lie about them. Okay. So anyway, God bless. So yeah, I'm like, I'm not evil. I take care of people, and I've been taking care of you. And he goes, what makes you a good person? And then she goes, I have a good heart, and I am a good person. And then she, like, for a moment is like, you know what? Daniel's not going to accept me for who I am. And then she does something that we're all so happy about. Lisa is like, fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck him. The F, I try to get a closed captioning picture of it. Didn't quite happen. But she really does like a whole turn. She's like, I'm in love with him. I came clean. This is who I am. People should love people. I just believe a person loves a person. I don't think anything's wrong with that. And we're all like, yeah, Lisa, you're right. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Now, this man did tell you that he does think it's wrong. That he does. Okay. you're right, it's not wrong. He did say he thinks it's wrong. So the problem is, you should have heard that and been like, "Oh, so you think I'm wrong? All right. I love myself enough to be like, you're not for me, and I'm okay with that because I love me more than I love you." But she didn't, right? She doesn't. Lisa doesn't love herself. Why is it difficult to love yourself? Lots of people. Why is it difficult for Elise to love herself? Why is it difficult for Vanya to love herself? Why is it difficult for Lisa to love herself? Three ladies. There are men that don't love themselves too, but let's just bring up these three ladies. Now, Vanya and Vanya's on Single Life, obviously. But there is, in all three women, a need, a loud need. And I think that, like, it's funny. It's like how loud the need is dependent on so many things. How desperate someone is, how much insecurity they might have, but also it could be how much they have found a connection with someone who might not be truthful with them. It might be like leading them on. But at the same time, I think there might be like some due diligence in sitting and like processing what actually is happening with how somatically your body's feeling with someone. I think that it's easy to lie to yourself and ignore red flags. But if you don't want to lie to yourself, it's just as easy to sort of sit in and acknowledge how your body is feeling in the moment. And I think that like your body doesn't lie, like in the sense of this. I think when you feel unease or unclear or confused about someone's like feelings towards you, or if someone is distant or whatnot, I think that like, yeah, like I think that there's just a propensity to want to figure out why or make like almost excuses for them, or if they also can be lying to you and saying certain things are different than they are. I think you just have to like wait it out and see if their actions are like, like their words. But if they do not line up, you got to fucking bounce. And the thing about like Daniel is he has, nothing going for him in the sense of what he's going to bring to Lisa. And he surely hasn't offered anything. Nothing. Not even like, when I come to America, I'm going to help you in Faith. I want to meet Faith. Let me talk to your daughter. Like nothing about making like nothing. Um with Elise, like Josh doesn't have anything going for him. And just sort of wants like an American party girl to like come and like show off to Chris that he got like this hot Instagram baddie from America for like a week, and then like, get her to go home, give up the place, move in with Nat, and get the, little bit of home cooking and some home loving. um So when Lisa finally is like, fuck him, we're so happy. We're like, oh my God, is this it? Oh my, what if this is it? What if this whole time it was like she was so upset to tell him all her secrets, but then she'd like, she really dosed out the secrets, honey. I mean, she just like deep and then like a week later. But what if after all that, after like having him say that she's evil, after all that she's done for him, if his homophobia would snap her out of it to be like, you're not shit. Fuck you. You homophobic piece of shit, or whatever she want to say to him. Like, because truly everything she says about loving the person that you want to love is like real. Like that is real. So like, a part of her believes that. which she should. And so I almost want her to like hold on to that tenement as like a personal value of her life, almost as if that alone will be like stronger than her like desperate need to fall in love with the idea of someone. And the idea of Daniel is like someone who's not going to even do any good for you. The idea of Daniel is just someone hot, young hot man, maybe. I don't know, young hot man, maybe a fetish thing too. I don't know, like what is he? Mm, okay. So when she is like, fuck him, she packs her away bag and she puts on my favorite pair of spider stomping shoes, that red doily, flowery, strappy sandal. I do love it. Like for her bad decisions, she didn't come with ugly clothes. And I just will forever be happy with her for that. Thank you. Now, this is where I got to give her, unfortunately, some tea. Girl, something happens in the packing episode. Do I not have a picture of it? I thought I took so many pictures of it. I'll bring one up. Um, Now, I don't know if like she's been crying or if the weight of the world is on her or if she's been sweating or whatnot. But something happens where her wig that she's using has become vastly dry at the ends. Wildly dry. I mean, so dry that you're like, where did Emma go to the bazaar and get the hair oil? Because, like, Lisa's wig has a different color at the ends. There it is. She brought 3 wigs. I don't know what day we're on, but now I realize this wig is no more. The ends of this wig are fried. I don't know if she got them like stuck in a fan, honey, or whatever, but like wherever there's olive oil, whatever the nearest oil is, you got to grab a bunch of it and then just soak the bottom of that hair in that. I mean, here's the thing, there's nothing left. I mean, I don't know about wigs like this, like long ass wigs like this. I mean, this needs like a hardcore deep conditioning treatment. Like this needs oil. I mean, there's not almost nothing coming back from this wig. Can you look at that? Oh my God, Lisa. On to the next. On to the next. Okay. Now here is where it gets weird. Then Daniel comes back and they talk. Now Daniel is like, here's the thing. I gotta talk to my uncle. She's like, fuck your uncle. I don't want to deal with your uncle. He's like, yeah, but it's the uncle. No, the uncle does it all. I hate you laying with women. I think being gay is so gross and I'm so mad about it. And my uncle does too. But if my uncle says yes, then it's okay. She should not have lied truly to like the spirits or her uncle, you know, or the uncle, but she just did. She makes really bad decisions. I just can't imagine walking into a situation where someone is just so wildly vocal about hating something that I believe in so much. Like, I don't like, yeah, I mean, I'm not gay, but like, I love gay people enough that like, I couldn't be with anyone that was like wildly homophobic. I couldn't just because, well, I have friends and all like that, but like, I can't imagine actually being something and then someone hating you that much and then you just being like, okay, I'll change them or they'll change. Lisa's end goal was a little confusing. It felt like she thought that she was just going to not ever have to tell him, or maybe that she'd tell him and it would be okay. But she didn't expect all the like religious blessings to come in her way, where she had to like, talk to kings and uncles and like furry lions and lie to all of the furry lions about how much she doesn't like women. But in this, I mean, it's like, yeah, when Lisa's like, fuck him, I'm like so happy. So when this scene happens where he comes back and he's like, well, I got to talk to the uncle. And she's like, okay, because love you so much, Daniel. I'm so mad. Half of me is like, Lisa, leave him and go find a man that would be happy to like deal with you and your ways and all the money. I'm surprised Daniel even says like you're evil and all that stuff to her. except that he knows that it's not going to deter her from being in love with him. I want to know what Daniel's other options are. The way that he tells her off and gives her his ring makes me feel like he is truly done with her. And for him to come back and have it be an option just to see what the uncle says, did the producers tell him to do this? Was he like over it and they were like, no, please come back? Okay. Oh, that's the end. I have, yeah, oh, my pictures. Yeah, I guess I did. Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, I guess I talked for an hour and 40 minutes. Goodness gracious, that is the end of the episode. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for listening. Here's the thing. It's a long episode. However, we have a lot to talk about. There is just so much ridiculousness, but also a lot of tragedy. And the tragedy is in the human behavior. I want the best for everyone. I want everyone to just love themselves and take care of themselves. But I think that the other thing is that if that's how I'm feeling, then I think I have to like take my own advice. It's really hard. It's hard because yeah, everyone just wants love and companionship. And I think that it's difficult for some people sometimes to be like, well, don't you? You're pretending like you want this. So why are you making it difficult? But alas, we fall in love with the idea of things like Elise falling in love with the idea of Josh being 39. Anyway, okay, you can follow me. I'm at Chris Elfera on TikTok, on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm Chris Farah there, or Vanity Farah, a private group on Facebook. I also have Patreon. I also have Substack. I have a lot of things. Hi, my name is Chris. Also, if you haven't yet, give me 5 stars, some sort of review, some sort of like, tell me what your sex move is, honey. Tell me what your favorite piece of clothing that you own is, or something that you saw on TV. Tell me if you like my eyeliner. Um, we're going to give a breath. We're going to do 2. Why? Mindful moments. So it's important that you can check in with how you're feeling because you can live easily in your mind and you can be preoccupied with other people, or you can even disassociate and then sort of just be staring at yourself from the ceiling or some other place. But I think that we do our best work, our best communication, our best connection. I think we feel our best, and I think that we take care of ourselves. We know our boundaries. We like love ourselves the best when we know how we're feeling. And that connection between like our mind and the body can be worked on. Yeah, through mindfulness and through like meditation. But like, yeah, they do like body scans, stuff like that. That's definitely therapeutic stuff you can do. You can do a body scan before you go to bed, how you're feeling, checking in, where you're holding tension, where you can release it, all that stuff. But the same principle is just what we're doing now. Where, okay, your mind is where? Where is it? What are you thinking about? Odds are the past things. Maybe you're worrying or cringing about things that happened, or you're planning or worrying about the future, things you didn't done, things you have to do, things you want to do perfectly, things, you're playing out conversations, you're, trying to control things you have no control over. Those are usually what's happening in our mind. All of that takes us away from, of course, the present moment. And in the present moment of reality is where truth lies. This is what's happening right now. How we feel right now is what's happening. If we can get to how we feel authentically, trust ourselves, then how much easier it is to date. If you love yourself and you know yourself and you can tap into how you're feeling in a visceral way, then you can start to feel how you are with someone who makes you feel good, secure, clear headed, joyful, peaceful, familiar, or someone who makes you feel on edge, weird, uncomfortable. And maybe it's confusing because those things could also be like excitement, confusion, instability, newness. You know, it's just hard. So being able to pepper in as much of your life with present moments, make sure that you connect to that for yourself, and also just gives you the process and the practice to do so. And that's what I'm trying to do for myself. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now with you, which is 2 breaths, 1 in, 1 out, 1 in, 1 out. Nothing is perfect. So if your mind wanders, try again and just try again until you try again. And the trying again can happen tomorrow too. All right, babes, let's breathe it all out and do it. One more. Think, breathe in, or just use my voice presently in this time to bring you into the present moment. Feet on the floor. One more. All right. Did you do it? Maybe 1 second. I had 1/2 second of present moment, and then I quickly went back to what am I doing? Am I doing it right? Is my voice sound weird? Am I taking too long? So my little monkey mind rarely gets in line. So if yours doesn't as well, it's just what the part of this all is. It's just the practice, my babe. So just take care of yourselves, right? That's what we're doing. And one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art and breathe another day. All right. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is out there. I don't know if you guys are watching it, but I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, I'm about to dive in. Bye.